Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, and if you saw the thumbnail, then you know exactly what this video is. But I always love these videos. I love shouting out other channels, other people that are providing great content, great personalities. Um, there's a lot of great channels out there. Some that I watch on weekly and daily basis, depending on what they drop and when they drop. Um, but first off, the biggest guy, Gary B, the casual comment guy. For me and my channel, he's a big part of my channel. Hashtag Grow Together. I've been using, I think, since my third video, ever since I found that hashtag, and I can even say that I didn't even know it was attached, that Gary was the creator of that hashtag. I think for like a day or two, and then somebody had told me, and that's what led me to Gary B. I had already seen Gary B in the chats and everything. I mean, he's everywhere. So, I mean, and he's always been a big supporter. But like as soon as I found out he was like, the creator, it like my opinion of Gary B shot up so much more. I had already seen him doing, shout out videos and stuff like that in the beginning, because back in the early days it was brand new. Um, but Gary B was very important, and to my channel specifically, he was one of my earliest supporters. He was one of my first people that actually shouted me out. Using that hashtag Grow Together, I believe it has been very useful, and it has attached me to this community into a bigger way. So I really appreciate what Gary B thought of and gave this community. Um, but not only that, but Gary B he had got me like interested in something that I've always wanted to get interested in, but I've actually started buying Conan and Red Sonja because of Gary B. I'm currently reading Red Sonja, and I have been picking up Conan like back and forth, from the King Conan run and regular Conan run. And it's not all in part to Gary B, but the excitement and the knowledge and everything, it's a tremendous help for me. But that's not all Gary Vee's about. He does unboxing, he does his hauls, he has great personality. He definitely does his streams with, usually with the Dawn and Nix and a bunch of the other great guys in the community. But Gary B is pretty major in our community, and he's almost to 1,000, right? I think when I looked it up, he was at like 971 or something like that. So really, this is what this video is, and what I'm asking is, please, if you are not subbed up to Gary B, the casual comic guy, the link will be down below. All you got to do is click in the box down below, and sub him up. Let's get him to that 1,000, because he definitely deserves. I mean, there's a lot of channels, in my opinion, that definitely deserve that 1,000, or plus. I mean, Gary B should be way up there. He should have been up there a long time ago. In my opinion, it's surprising to see, some of these channels on the difficult, um, the milestones that that they have to meet. But Gary B's right there, so all we need is a little more push to get him over the edge. So if you're not subbed up to Gary B, please, 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 just go sub him up. I'm not asking you to watch him. I'm not asking you to be his best friend. But hey, if you do watch him and you like him, hey, tell him Evil Mike sent you, and and that's kind of all I'm asking. And all Gary B asked in this push is that we shout out like 3 other channels. I love shouting out channels. I try and mention, like every time I do this, I try and think of different channels that I've never mentioned specifically on this channel. Because there's so many in the community, and there's so many great ones, but it's hard to choose. It was hard. I have I think 6 that I wrote down that I was like, "Argh." And I mean, it's not because they're my favorite or nothing like that. They're great channels, and I believe they deserve a shout out. And if you haven't heard of them, please take the moment and go check them out. All these links will be down below. And with that being said, I'm going to try and keep it to 3, but I might throw a couple more in there. I mean, there's no... and I know Gary B has a giveaway going attached to this. I'm not interested in the giveaway or anything like this. This video specifically is just to honor Gary B. I love Gary B. I always have since the very beginning. And I love this community. This community is very giving, and if this is the least I can do is make a video and shout some other people out, like, psh, I mean, that's so simple, right? And it is. It's that simple. So please, so, if you are not subbed up to any of these channels, please, take the moment and just, click the sub button. I mean, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Um, so the first channel I'd like to bring up is a brand new, kind of a, not a brand new one, but she's been, rising, and she's not exact. She's near my range, and she's growing very quickly. But she has been a more vocal person in the community as of recently, and I'm excited that she has been showing up in different chats, and she's been doing her videos. But that's my girl J Rails, man. J Rails, 24/7, and I'm not sure if her Instagram tag is the same way, but I'll have both of them linked down below, because she does do Instagram lives, and then she does do YouTube content, and streams and stuff like that. And she's I mean, I've seen her all over the place. It seems like a couple different places I've been going to. She's there in the chat supporting and having a good time and stuff like that. I mean, she was just on Team Nerd Herd with the Geek Factor last Tuesday, I think it was. And she has such an energy, and she has a different perspective. She has a lot of thought. She really enjoys what she's reading, and it's just really nice to see. I know for one, she is very new to DC. I think she's more a Marvel or maybe an indie person. But I will say she's kind of new to DC, but she's still digging in, and I love that. And she, just her excitement and everything that goes behind it is just it's thrilling and amazing. It's very nice to see. But that's J Rose 24/7. So next up, another great channel that needs a lot of love, and this is a small channel, but this is my guy, Jimmy G, the comic guy. Just looking at his hair in the chats, and everybody always comments about it on his thumbnails. But he is a very small channel, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a great personality. That he doesn't have a voice, and we shouldn't bring him up as well. He's another person that's being, like, recently I've been seeing him a lot more in the community, trying to just have a good time and support and be involved in the conversations and stuff like that. But he also has content on YouTube. Not him, I'm not sure if he has an IG. I don't think so. I think it's just YouTube. Again, description down below. But man, Jimmy G specifically is a very, very small channel. The last two are very, very small channels, and that's kind of why I picked them, so we can get them a little more love. And all three of these are channels that I've never mentioned on my channel, so it'll be a first shout out for them. But last but not least is Southpaw Brad. Southpaw Brad has kind of been lately more connected to my kind of circle on YouTube, and not to say that I sit at a circle. I'm friends with everybody I encounter, but it's just kind of the channels that I've been watching, and a lot of these individuals, because I don't just watch I try and, like, the way I work now, because there's so many comic channels, I always watch my favorites, and I have like a top 10. I'd say that I do. But then I have, like, I try and mix up my support to show these people some love, or show these people, because there's so much content. We have very little time out there. But Southpaw Brad recently has been, him and Tylox have been connecting a lot more. They've been on streams. Southpaw Brad, like before then, has been in the community big time, more in the chats and stuff like that. But he is trying to get his content up and going, and trying to produce more content. But they were on a stream last night, him and Tylox and Nicole and SSGSS Usamaki. They were on a live stream last night. But Southpaw Brad has done one stream before that I can think of, and he has a lot of different videos and stuff like that. But Southpaw Brad is a spec guy, so and he has a lot of knowledge invested in his spec, that kind of thing. So it's always like if you're looking for a different voice in that region, it's always nice to get different perspectives, kind of thing. But Southpaw Brad, man, his demeanor, his attitude, the way he carries himself is very. For one, it's very cordial. It's very nice. He's very well spoken. But he brings that he brings that friendliness and cheeriness to the chat. It's very nice to have. And that's like all these individuals. Like it's a good mix of individuals in this community, and that's what I love. This community is by far amazing. I think I've stated it before, I'm a part of a whole bunch of different communities, video game community, Hot Wheels, movies, that kind of stuff. But there's no other community that I can think of that's like this, so caring and giving and supportive and we have our strides and everything. We're all human and people make mistakes like that. But as far as like just how quick we rebound, how quickly we can overlook stuff, and I think it's really just because a lot of us are just a lot more down to earth and forgiving and stuff like that. But all these channels are by far phenomenal channels, and that doesn't mean that there's not more great channels out there. I'm not saying that in the least. There's so many great channels. It's hard. Like, if I had the list of like a bunch of my favorites, and most of them I don't even get to watch because it's just, man, there's so much out there. People dropping, content on the same days, or I catch a lot of my time on the rewatch. But before I go on and make this video any longer, those are the 4 people that we're talking about in this video. Specifically, come on, man, let's get Gary B to 1,000. Let's get him to like 1,100 in the quickness. Like, anybody that's watching that catches my video, please, if you have not subbed up to any of these people, please be so kind. And that's Gary B, Southpaw Brad, Jimmy G, and my girl J Rails. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a great day. And we're getting closer to that Christmas time, so make sure we take that breath and slow everything down, and y'all have a good one. All right, bye. Yeah.